Hi everyone, Scunny here. It's been 2 years since Cities Skylines II launched, and the game's journey has been rocky to say the least. Performance issues, missing features, and uneven communication left it sitting with mixed reviews on Steam, and even the first DLC release turned into a fiasco. Now, after more than a year's delay, Colossal Order is finally rolling out the long-awaited Bridges and Ports expansion alongside an expected free update for all players. In this video, we'll recap what's been confirmed, what's expected, and how this moment fits into the game's broader recovery. Before we get into the details, a quick note about where I'm coming from. I've worked with Paradox Interactive in the past, including helping on the Bridges and Ports trailer build, and I've been an avid fan of the Cities franchise, both 1 and 2. That said, I am under embargo, and everything here is based only on publicly available information. Sources are linked in the description if you'd like to read them yourself. By the end, I hope you'll have a clearer picture of how Bridges and Ports could bring new life to your city's coastline, and whether Cities Skylines 2 might finally be turning the corner it's been trying to overcome for the past 2 years. Let's have a look. The Bridges and Ports DLC is supposed to be all about bringing life to the water's edge. A waterfront-themed expansion that finally lets us build cities that look and feel connected to their coasts. It launches on October the 29th, 2025. After 2 delays and more than a year in development, it's been positioned as a large expansion, not a small asset pack, supposedly with new gameplay systems for transport, industry, and coastal design. And here's what we know is included so far. One of the headline additions is bridges. The DLC adds 20 new bridge types, 10 movable and 10 static, for both rail and road. The movable bridges include drawbridges and lift bridges that open to let ships through, complete with warning lights and sound cues. Road and rail traffic pauses while they're raised, adding a bit of planning for anyone managing busy crossings. The static set introduces new designs, such as arch, truss, suspension, and multi-deck, expanding the visual and structural range of what's possible in-game. Ports are now modular, starting with the harbour gate that determines base capacity. Players can then expand with optional modules like cargo storage areas, passenger terminals, and custom offices. Separate civic and decorative waterfront buildings, such as museums and conference centres, can be placed nearby to create multi-purpose harbour districts. Though they're not part of the functional cargo network itself, this setup allows industrial docks and public waterfronts to coexist more naturally along the same coastline. While Cities Skylines 2 already has large intercity ferries, this DLC adds smaller ferries for local routes. These short-range boats connect districts across rivers and bays, working like waterborne trams and integrating with the existing line-based transit system. Colossal Order says they're intended to make water transport part of daily city life, not just decoration. The expansion adds fishing and offshore industries, extending the resource system into the water. Fishing harbours and fish farms send out boats to harvest resources, while offshore oil rigs draw from marine deposits and connect back to land. These new industries give coastal maps extra depth and self-sufficiency. Beyond the core systems, Bridges and Ports includes over 100 new assets and 5 new maps built to highlight the new mechanics, plus new keys, lighthouses, and an optional cold wave radio station for those who enjoy the game's ambient music. Bridges and Ports has been in development for quite some time. Originally planned for 2024, it was delayed twice, first to prioritise fixing the base game, and later to expand its scope. Colossal Order said the extra time allowed them to include as many water-related features as possible, and they confirmed that community testers provided feedback earlier this year. The goal is to set a new standard for how expansions are released going forward. A free update is expected to launch alongside the DLC, continuing Colossal Order's pattern of pairing paid content with core improvements. At the time of recording, full patch notes haven't been shared, but several features have been discussed publicly. The biggest addition is Water Simulation Overhaul, which changes how rivers flow and coastlines behave. It only applies to new cities created after the update, to avoid disrupting existing saves. In their Bridges, Bikes and Bug Fixes diary, Colossal Order said that immediate focus remains on bug fixes, performance and general polish, before introducing larger systems like bicycles or the asset editor. Some of the bugs mentioned in that post, such as low tourist numbers, mail service issues and service behaviour quirks, won't be fixed this update, but are planned for future patches. You can't really talk about Bridges and Ports without acknowledging how much Colossal Order's tone has changed since launch. This expansion isn't just about new features, it's about a studio trying to rebuild trust after a rough start. After the beach properties backlash back in 2024, the studio paused new DLC, issued refunds and made the pack free. They promised to prioritise fixing the base game and improving communication, and to their credit, they've largely followed through. Since then, Bridges and Ports has been delayed twice, with multiple patches improving performance and simulation along the way. By September's Bridges, Bike and Bug Fixes post, Colossal Order confirmed that the DLC was finished and outlined what was next. Bicycles, old town style buildings, smaller service facilities, and continued optimization work. It's a more transparent tone, less marketing, more development. And for many players, that's been a welcome change. There's still plenty of work ahead, such as the console release and the asset editor, so we'll see how that plays out over the coming months. Bridges and Ports is arriving at an interesting time for Cities Skylines II, the game's second anniversary. It's not a relaunch or a reinvention, but it does feel like a chance for the game to close a chapter, especially for Ultimate Edition owners. The expansion promises new systems around transport, industry and coastal design, while expected free update works on improving the simulation underneath. After a rocky start, this feels like a genuine desire to make things right. Colossal Order's gamble to delay the content, refine features, and communicate plainly shows they may have learned at least some lessons from the past 2 years. Whether that's enough to fully satisfy players is something time will tell, but the direction is promising. So what do you think? Does Bridges and Ports look like a turning point for Cities Skylines 2, or is it too soon to tell? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you're a long-time player watching to see where the game goes next. Until next time, take care, goodbye.